8 wins against the Blue Devils, including that aforementioned victory in the ACC tournament a season ago. We look at the lineup for the Demon Deacons tonight. Obviously, we talked about Morris, but Stoll has been phenomenal for Wake Forest this year as well. 11 there for the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, 4 goals and 4 assists, leads the team in points. And then also Alex Wood with 4 goals and 2 assists. Keep an eye on both of those players for Tony DeLuz, who might be the most handsome coach in the business, by the way.
On the flip side now for the Duke Blue Devils, we talked a lot about Michelle Cooper in the open. Robbie Church, their head coach, says we're still looking for some scoring options to help Michelle Cooper alleviate some of that pressure.
Yeah, and he thinks he's going to get it from Pluck and Rader, as they definitely have the ability to score goals. And, of course, Graham running the attack midfield right there, I think, Chris, will be a key part as well.
And how about what Robbie Church told us this week as well? Duke's going to look different in possession and out of possession tonight as well.
Yeah, they're going to flip it around. The 4-2-3-1 will start, but it'll definitely morph defensively. Sometimes you'll see 5 in the back. Sometimes you'll see just 3 in the back, but they did switch back to 4 in the back now. I like that.
There's Robbie Church, his 22nd season as the Duke head coach, 37th overall. It's this pink night here, breast cancer awareness as we start October, and always the calm and collected Robbie Church on the Duke sideline.
One of the all-time great people in this sport. The man has earned respect, and he deserves respect. Just a great guy and a phenomenal soccer coach.
We talked at the outset about scoring first and transition, but in a match like this, how important are the first 5 or 10 minutes of the match for both these clubs to get into a rhythm and get into a feel of what the other side's going to do?
Yeah, those big 5 moments, including the first 5, are really critical, and I think if Duke can put their stamp on it right away, that might affect Wake Forest, the visiting team. Of course, not that far, and as you mentioned, Wake Forest has a lot of confidence coming to Koskinen. They believe they can hang with Duke. I think it's easier said than done. Should be a great matchup.
The Blue Devils in their pink, as we mentioned, for this Breast Cancer Awareness Month. There's Wake Forest, and this, for a Wake Forest team, kind of begins a pretty daunting stretch with 4 teams in the top 25 remaining on their schedule beginning here tonight for Duke. Blue Devils looking to make a little hay at home. They're in the middle of a 3-game homestand as we head toward the end of the ACC regular season. And off we go from Durham, the opening possession belonging to the Blue Devils.
Love the pink game. Want to remind everybody that all the pink jerseys will be auctioned off to raise money for breast cancer research at the Duke Cancer Institute, a great cause.
One of the things that Robbie Church really wanted from his group coming into play tonight was just to find a way to have more possession, but not just have possession, but have quality possessions on the attacking third of the field.
Yeah, he dropped Sophie Jones back a little bit, so Sophie, a lot of the offense will run through Sophie Jones. I think, we talked about how great Michelle Cooper is. Sophie Jones is also one of the best players in the country. They need to find her and find her feet so she can run the offense, and you know who she's going to be looking to find. It will be Michelle Cooper when she gets the ball. 63
straight starts now for Sophie Jones. That's 5th all-time in Duke history. When you look at this Duke lineup and this Duke roster, sure, they've got some young players that have been really impactful. Kat Rader comes to mind with her goals already, but this is a veteran Duke club and already an opportunity for Duke here in the opening minutes as the ball is in and ushered away nicely that time by the Demon Deacons.
We talked about the fast start, Chris, right there. Good job by Duke. Quickly on the interchange transition, Duke with a throw-in.
Yeah, Mackenzie Pluck had the opportunity there for the Blue Devils. Pluck, who's been so dynamic for Duke, 6 assists and 3 goals this year. And now dancing through traffic, Cooper tried to get free, and a ball got through. Cooper was contacted there, no foul. We play on in front of Caitlin Parks, the redshirt junior goalkeeper, who earned her 20th career shutout this past Sunday against Syracuse for Wake Forest.
You think about great goalkeepers for Wake Forest. Aubrey Bledsoe Kingsbury now with the Washington Spirit, won the NWSL last year. I think will make the World Cup team. As you think about Nair and Casey Murphy, I think the former Wake Forest Demon Deacon, Aubrey Bledsoe Kingsbury, will be in the lot for the U.S. team for the World Cup, which is obviously says a lot about the legacy that Tony DeLuz players are leaving. They got a lot more players like Duke heading to the pros.
These are 2 clubs that when you look at them, man, they're so similar in the way the programs are constructed. Great players. There's some recruiting battles for some of the same players as well. So not a lot of secrets between Duke and Wake Forest, separated by just a little over an hour. Now an opportunity in the box again for the Blue Devils, and a goal early for Duke. And it's the freshman Kat Rader with her 6th of the season. We talked about Duke needing to get Rader involved, and it's the rookie who strikes first for the Blue Devils.
Tremendous buildup as well, and one of the things you want to do is take defenders away to create their own space. And here, right outside of midfield, running downhill, you want to beat one player, and then when you do, you want to square it perfectly, and Rader runs right onto it. And Chris, you said it best. Robbie Church said, look, everybody knows about Cooper. We need goals from Pluck. We need goals from Rader. Guess what? They just got a goal from Rader.
Yeah, the 6th of the year for the Blue Devil freshman. No surprise. The assist came from Mackenzie Pluck. That's her team-leading 7th assist of the season already. And boy, that's perfect for what Duke wanted to do. Find an early goal. Robbie Church, the Duke head coach, talking to us this week about how important it was for his team to find an early goal, let Wake Forest chase them a little bit, because the Blue Devils had to chase Virginia in that 1-0 loss on Sunday.
First time ever I feel kind of smart here, because we talked about a fast start. It's easier said than done in soccer. You know, we talk about the big five. Usually it's the last 5 or the first 5 or 5 after a goal, but to score in the first 5, that can really set the tone. Duke has done it.
Well, on the flip side, though, for Wake Forest and Tony DeLuce, he knew how fast this Duke club was and how dynamite they are in the first 5-10 minutes of the match, and this is obviously not what the doctor ordered for Tony DeLuce and the way he wanted his club to start the game.
Now, Duke's feeling pretty good right now. They are possessing the ball. You're seeing them building it left to right. You're seeing it go down the midfield. They worked at the left side, took a defender over, squared it perfectly, and Rader did have a defender kind of on her shoulder, but Rader showing that strength. I think it is perfect that she scores, because I feel like more than anything, Robbie Church talked about the fact it just can't be the Michelle Cooper show alone.
And Rader, who is kind of becoming that secondary option, her 6th goal, her 5 goals entering play tonight, 2nd in the ACC among first-year players. So she has exploded onto the scene in a league that is littered with great first-year players, but littered with great veterans across this dynamic conference. How does the mindset change now for Wake Forest? Obviously, plenty of time to go in this match, but you give up a goal in the first 3 minutes. Does the mindset change at all for Tony DeLuce's club?
I think it's going to be tough. I mean, this is a really, really young team. He talked about it. You know, some of their veterans are working their way back. We expect to see Faircloth, which is one of the veterans that we were mentioning earlier. And, you know, look, Chris, I think it's going to be tough, because Wake Forest has come in here before. They should have won a game a couple years ago. That was the famous Tony DeLuce with the Gatorade bucket. I don't know if you called that game or not, Chris, but he put his foot through the Gatorade bucket and had trouble getting it off. We were teasing with him today on the United Soccer Coaches podcast. But, I mean, to answer your question, they've got to figure out a way to shake it off. But they're a really young team, so they're going to have to buckle down, shake it off, and try to get a little bit of the ball. Right now, most of the ball has been with Duke.
That's exactly what Robbie Church wanted as well, as Cooper flares one ahead. A couple of Blue Devils are there. This is Pluck, who's got some room, and it was taken away nicely that time by Wake Forest. A good play by Allie Schmidt, the rookie. When we talk about this young Wake Forest group, and Tony DeLuce, we asked him, you know, are we now into this point in the season where you're 10, 12 matches in? Do you no longer treat your rookies like rookies? You see 27 of their 38 players are underclassmen, and he's like, I'm not quite sure what that means, Chris. He said, if you're good enough, you're good enough. I don't treat anybody different. And so in his eyes, everybody could be an upperclassman.
Yeah, that was an interesting take, because usually coaches approach freshmen a little bit differently. Clearly at Wake Forest with Tony DeLuce, like, if you're ready when you walk in day one, he'll get you out there. And certainly you just saw that stat right there, 27 of 38 underclassmen on this team. And, you know, he can say what he wants. What that tells me is the future is bright, because he's giving those players a lot of time.
It was a young group last year for Wake Forest, made it to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. That ball banged off of DeMarco and loose through the middle. Boy, physical play already in the first 7 minutes of this one.
And there's Sophie Jones. A little secret that Robbie Church shared that I think I can mention is there's a chance. I mean, they both are ready for the pro, but both Joneses actually have another year left, if you can believe it. They have an opportunity to come back one more year, which would just be incredible for this program.
Certainly would change the complexion moving forward for Coach Church's group.
Yeah, both are ready to take the next step, obviously, and of course the goalkeeper, Jones, knows what it's like for her brother to go pro, right, of course, and certainly was a fan favorite for the Duke football team. But I think they also love you stay around, get a Masters, maybe even deeper, as you see right there. Number 26 for the Duke Blue Devils, Ruthie Jones.
52 straight starts entering play tonight for Jones, and at her 53rd straight. 21 career clean sheets, 5th all-time in Duke history. Robbie Church really praised how high she was playing since ACC play began, and the Blue Devils continue to dominate the possession here in the opening minutes, already leading by a goal, and the offside flag is up here for Duke.
Yeah, they are really flying. The spacing is really good. I love the fact, of course, Chris, we have the best seat in the house to really see how this game is opening up. But right now, as it's turned at Pink Day, all you're seeing is the pink jerseys moving in rhythm and keeping the ball.
What does Wake Forest need to do to counter what the Blue Devils are doing early in this match?
Yeah, they need to shut down that first or second pass. Right now, you're seeing Duke get 3 passes, 4 passes, 5 passes. They need to interrupt by the second pass and try to get possession. That hasn't happened yet.
Morris trying to work there for Wake Forest. Flares it ahead. Deeks try to get there on the touchline. They cannot, and so a goal kick coming for Ruthie Jones early in this one. Jones, who is yet to be tested.
The amazing thing about Ruthie Jones, people forget that she went to Charlotte Latin, and Claudia Dickey was also there. And Claudia Dickey, the famous goalkeeper from North Carolina, by the time her senior year, she would play in the field because Ruthie Jones was the goalkeeper. Both of them pretty good basketball players as well. That's amazing that 2 goalkeepers at that level came from the same school.
That's an embarrassment of riches, isn't it?
Incredible.
To have those caliber athletes, and one's not even playing goalie, and we know how good Claudia Dickey was for Anson Dorrance's club.
Yeah, one of the best. And she had plans to play for Courtney Banghart, but at the same time got called into the U.S. national team and put her focus strictly on soccer.
Throw in here for the Demon Deacons. Flared ahead by Malika Mina and headed away that time by the Blue Devils. It was Emily Royson, who continues to have a really good year for the Blue Devils, who headed that one out.
Well, you absolutely love the fact that the Royson sisters are able to finish out together. You know, the older sister coming over after 4 great years with Dave Nolan at Georgetown, winning a lot of games, but gets to come here, get her master's at Duke, and play alongside her sister. I love that. And then you got the 2 Graham sisters playing together as well. That's pretty awesome.
Memories that are going to be made forever. I mean, they can look back on this time and talk forever about how great this year was in both of their families.
Yeah, incredible. Captain Obvious, Chris, but you can't ask for a better start. I mean, if you're Robbie Church, he talked about the fast start. He's got the fast start, and you feel like the momentum has been with them ever since. I mean, really, you feel like since the opening whistle, Duke has had control of this game.
Kat Rader scoring the goal for the Blue Devils. Her 6th of the season off the assist by Mackenzie Pluck, her 7th. Coming in the first 3 minutes of this one. And now Michelle Cooper barreling down, and off her line there was Parks and just ushers it away.
This is better, though, for Wake Forest. As I say, that looks like they're going to lose it, but at least they put some passes together. Sometimes you need to go backwards to go forwards. Good pressure by Cooper to put enough pressure on the goalkeeper to win it back, but that was better from Wake Forest. Well, you said it as well, Chamber of Commerce. I mean, you cannot ask for, right? It's
beautiful.
Fantastic.
Just looking for a little bit of space through the middle. Morris had it taken away again, and look at Cooper quickly flicking one ahead. Settled by Rader, perhaps looking for an angle just outside of the box. It's Sophie Jones now, leaving it away for Graham, and that one ushered aside, but the first corner of the match coming for the Blue Devils. Duke has taken 53 corners now, 54 on the season.
Chris, for me, that was created by Maggie Graham. She did a great job keeping possession just outside the 18, found the open player. They added one more pass on there. And Maggie Graham, if she can put her mark on this with those great forwards up top, as we mentioned, Duke's going to have a good night.
Mackenzie Pluck will take the service here for Duke. Pluck, 28 career assists, needs one more after the one earlier today to tie 4th all-time in Duke history. Plays one in and a whistle, some contact there. And so the Blue Devils unable to connect on their first set-piece opportunity.
Yeah, that's a great nugget on Pluck's numbers, and I think it allows us to tip our hat to one of the best SIDs in the business, and Lindy Brown. You've been around him a long time, Chris. He is simply fantastic.
The best. We talked in the open about trying to find superlatives for Cooper. Hard to find superlatives for Lindy Brown as well. Look at Rader getting free. Rader looking for the brace, and she's got it.
Was she on the call with Robbie Church that we were on? Because Robbie Church called her out as a player along with Mackenzie Pluck that he wants to deliver goals. And, you know, Michelle Cooper is such a great 1v1 player. Check this out. Nice little pass over the top, and then whoop, back over the left foot and hammers it home. Just phenomenal. Watch this one more time. Gets it back over on her left foot and smokes it by the goalkeeper, and Duke is off and rolling.
First career multi-goal game for the Duke rookie. She has scored twice and has scored in a variety of ways already in this match. You know, she got it near the keeper, and that one just a strike. And that's what Robbie Church wanted to see Rader make some more quality runs and have a better finish, and I think she did that on those 2 goals so far.
Rader scored 32 goals in 14 games during the COVID-shortened 2019-20 season with Weston, one of the better club teams. And now bringing it. That was just a fantastic move, right? Spinning the defender there, and it wasn't that far off the goalkeeper, but there was so much speed behind that shot, nothing the goalkeeper can do, and Rader flying high along with the Duke Blue Devils.
He also has some international experience as well, does Rader. Competed in a couple of friendly matches against Costa Rica with the U20 national team in May of 2022. 3 goals in those 2 matches. So she comes in already with a wealth of experience, and hard to fly under the radar now when you're a rookie and you've scored 7 goals.
That's 4 goals in her last 4 games, and we still have a lot more of this game to come.
Duke already up 2-0, perhaps looking for more. Graham plays one in. Can they track it down again? Another opportunity, and boy, that one will be short-sighted, but the Duke Blue Devils right now dominating this first 14 minutes of the match.
Yeah, well, that was Pluck. That was the other player that Robbie Church mentioned, and Pluck gets inside the 18. I really love the combination with Pluck and Migley over on the left side. Those two really work well together, and I think Robbie Church was waiting for them both to be perfectly healthy. Migley's back in there, and I think that provides a lot of confidence for Pluck to go forward because she knows Migley's back there. She's a rock behind her. Those two in tandem on the left side, really, really tough.
A bit of shell shock perhaps for Wake Forest coming off that 2-0 victory over Syracuse on Sunday, and now find yourself on the short end of a 2-0 score 15 minutes into the match. And Tony DeLuz told us that the first 15 minutes are the most important because of how dynamic Duke has been. They really wanted to make sure they were focusing on team defending, get through the first 15 minutes. Well, Kat Rader had other ideas, and now Cooper trying to facilitate. Cooper goes down, but appears to be okay. If you're Wake Forest now, how do you rebound from this?
Yeah, you've asked me that a couple times already, and I don't think they have the answer just yet, and I don't think I have the answer either, Chris. It's, you know, worth asking, but right now, I mean, Duke's, they're playing with so much joy, so much freedom. They're passing around. Everybody's getting touches, so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, you know, Tony DeLuz will have a halftime. What he doesn't want to do is see Duke get to 3-0, because then they'll really, the body language will come in and they'll be hanging their head. You know how young they are. So I don't totally have the answer right now, and I'm not sure Tony DeLuz has the answer either. We'll see what kind of adjustments he makes at halftime. And once they get there, they got a long way to go just to get there.
They sure do. Is there an adjustment you'd like to see Wake Forest try to make on the fly before you can get to halftime, just to try to have some more possession, because the ball has not been on their attacking third hardly at all in this first half?
Yeah, we mentioned they need to win second balls. They need to try to put some passes together for sure, but they're not touching the ball right now. It'll be interesting to see at halftime when you take a look at the possession. I mean, I think it's going to be 60+% for Duke. I mean, even when they're all by themselves, they're winning it into their own space as you see the Migley Pluck combination.
Yeah, plays one ahead. Settled. Rader, who already has 2 goals tonight.
Oh.
Rader, what a move! Oh, was trying to find Cooper perhaps.
She ate her Wheaties today, let me tell you. I mean, she is flying with confidence.
Now Duke retreating and surveying here, Jenna Royson. The Georgetown transfer who we talked about earlier. 59 career matches for the Hoyas.
I mean, one answer might be Chris, and your question is valid, but right now they just don't look like they have the answers, but they might need to have a higher point of confrontation here. You're seeing Wake Forest for the most part at midfield, but down 2, you might need to see them push it forward a little bit more. They're making it a little bit too easy for Duke to build it out of the back, and Duke's got good enough players when you've got someone like number 7, Jones, in the middle of the park. This is important. See, they need to force some interceptions. They've done it right there, but then they give it right back. If they're going to win it, they got to keep it.
Jones chips one ahead.
Step. Here we go, Cat. Here we go. Good.
That was another great ball from Rader, by the way, back to Jones, and then did the overlapping run, hoping to get it back. I mean, Rader is doing everything right, not just scoring the goals, which are highlight reel goals, but the way she's making runs, her passes are on point, and even her defensive pressure. Of course, when you watch somebody as good as Michelle Cooper put on defensive pressure, you want to do the same thing. Rader's going to foul there, but what a great role model to have in Cooper. Elite level goal scorer that puts in the work defensively.
What a lethal 1-2 punch that's going to be with Rader and Cooper for the next 2-3 years for Robbie Church's club as well. And Cooper just the sophomore Rader in her rookie campaign at Duke.
Yeah, and Duke's going to get more big-time players. I know we're not allowed to talk about recruiting yet, but the word on the street is they are bringing in a big haul next year, which is super exciting for Robbie Church and the Duke Blue Devils.
Parks will settle this one. Parks, the redshirt junior, has been tested already early tonight. Has faced those 2 shots. Duke 2 for 2. 2 shots, 2 goals, both from Kat Rader.
I think I can say it because I heard her on a podcast. Riley Jackson, the ECNL Player of the Year, announcing that she's coming to Duke. That's pretty good.
Wake into the box for the first time, but just unable to get anything there, and Jones quickly dispatches of the challenge. And Wake Forest loses the possession again.
Hey, good work, Duke. Let's go. Keep it clean.
Seems like an important part of the field for Wake Forest, just to try to create a turnover, to create some possession and some momentum. And they do.
Yep, they got the throw in. Now let's see if they can switch the point of attack. Would have been nice to see them go to the left side there because you could see how compact it was.
DeMarco has to play that one back out. Ansbrow, the local product. There's a tardy whistle against Duke, but Ansbrow, 34 in black, from nearby Cary, North Carolina, played at Apex High School. There's DeMarco. Sure, Ansbro's got some friends and family in town. After redshirting last year, having a nice season, already 1 goal for the Demon Deacons. Batted down by Cooper. Look at the quickness of Cooper.
Yeah, I could watch her all day, every day, honestly. I mean, she's that good at this sport that obviously I love this sport, and she's one of those players that I would pay for a ticket every day because of that kind of work. It's not just about her goal scoring, Chris, to repeat some of my comments earlier. Her defensive presence is off the charts. I mean, not only is she going to be a next level player, number 18, Michelle Cooper, will be somebody that Latko Andomnoski is looking at already. And it used to be, you know, the Tar Heels would send players in, but Michelle Cooper is good enough right now to get called into the full national team, in my opinion.
Just A sophomore here at Duke, still has 2 years of eligibility left. And only going to get better.
Yeah, that was Cooper who...
Yeah, played it ahead, and offside flag goes up for the second time against Duke. Nice night for number 2 in pink. Kat Rader already a pair of goals for the Blue Devils. In the first 17 minutes, Rader striking twice.
It's interesting you mentioned number 2 because all 3 losses for Duke have come to the number 2 team in the country. And for me, I think that's okay. I mean, Robbie Church plays a tough schedule for a reason. This team is built to win titles, and I think this team is built for a College Cup run.
Yeah, and he said that, his club's not going to shy away from playing those type of games. It's only going to prepare them once they get later into the season. There is Robbie Church, who knows what it takes to get through the ACC season. A couple of subs for Wake. Faircloth, who we mentioned earlier, checking in. She's been out this year, but is, in the words of her head coach, really proven herself in the league. Consistent, high-level player, a lot of versatility, but played some really quality minutes against Syracuse. Still trying to get 25 in black into rhythm, and that's a big component for Wake Forest heading down the stretch of the ACC.
Yeah, not just one of the best players on this team, but one of the best players in the conference. And if she can get healthy, it'll make a difference for Wake Forest down the stretch.
Service in, headed away. A good play by Migley, but another corner coming for Wake Forest. We talk about Faircloth being great in the league. Remember the ACC all-freshman team a couple of seasons ago, played 90 minutes or more for Wake Forest 10 different times as a sophomore last year.
Yeah, big-time talent.
Another service. Wake able to hold on to it, looking to create. Johnson trying to track it down in the corner, but needs some help. And again, Duke just doing everything right defensively. Hansbrough has to play this one back to Parks.
Left center back, left center back. Laurel will be on the right.
It's the little things, again, with Cooper. Like, just her presence affects the passing lanes. She really has the ability to get into the heads of the opposition. And, again, we have this great seat to witness it, but it really is special.
How much of it for Cooper, though, Dean, is obviously opponents know how good Michelle Cooper is before you even get out onto the pitch, right? I mean, they see Cooper's numbers. They watch these games. They know how talented of a player that is. How much of that mental game plays in Cooper's favor?
Oh, that adds to it for sure. But when you've got a motor like Michelle Cooper, let's say Wake Forest doesn't read any press clippings and doesn't know anything about Michelle Cooper, it'll take them just 20 seconds into this game to see her charging down defensively, and that's your center forward. So mentally, it is tough to react to because she's so quick, so strong, and so determined defensively. We can talk about her goals all day long, but for me, the fact that she's a two-way player, both sides of the ball, look at her put the work in right there as Sophie Jones joins her.
It's been another great combination. Cooper and Jones. Throw in one by the Blue Devils, and Delaney Graham gets it in quickly, and they'll work it back to Ruthie Jones, one of the co-captains of this Duke team. I guess co-captains is shorting one. It's part of a trio of captains for Robbie Church's squad, along with Emily Dewar and Sophie Jones. Cooper to Jones. Bit of a misplay there, and the possession for Wake Forest.
No, but Tony DeLuz will want to see more of that.
Yeah.
They need to be more physical, right? Right now, Duke has outmatched them, and that's going to be one of the keys. You asked me, I think Duke has had so much freedom. Wake Forest, if they can play a little bit more physical, I'm not saying they should foul, but they need to bump a little bit, try to slow down this team. You saw it right there, the little bump on Jones.
A little too direct on that pass, and it's played all the way back now to Ruthie Jones, who handles it. Oh, misplay. And now Wake Forest with some room into the box, and a goal for the Demon Deacons. Off the misplay, a strike, and Wake Forest on the board. It's Giovanni DeMarco, the graduate student with her 4th of the season, changing the complexion of the first half.
You're a goalkeeper at this level, and one with high acclaim in Ruthie Jones. This is one that she's going to want to forget, and you see it right there. She has started to play better in the ACC, but this one is definitely on the goalkeeper. As you mentioned, she's one of the 3 captains. That's just a bad pass under pressure, and then puts herself under pressure, and that's a great finish from DeMarco. DeMarco's got some experience, the graduate student, and that is all on Ruthie Jones. I hate to say it right there, but she tried to find Sophie Jones, and she didn't need to make that pass right there, Chris, and it's 2-1. Give Wake credit for striking perhaps the only way they can right now. They'll bounce on the air from Jones, and they put in the back of the net. Now we've got a game.
DeMarco, who had just 1 goal last year, was the game winner against NC State. Now a quartet of goals on the season. Can Michelle Cooper get something in transition for Duke? Cooper, oh, what a save by Parks.
Big time save. Made the goal smaller, made herself bigger. That's not easy to do against Cooper. Remember that save, because if Wake can somehow find a way to equalize, it'll come back to that play.
Raider now direct to Cooper. And isn't that what Tony DeLuz talked about this week about Parks and how she usually makes 1 big save in every game to keep Wake Forest in it?
Cooper breaking down, and no fear at all from Parks. You just mentioned it. Tony DeLuz talking about her ability to make a big save, keeps her team in the game, as it looked like Cooper was going to have the answer immediately following the goal from DeMarco and Wake Forest.
Tony DeLuz said that in the game against Syracuse that she made a big save early in that contest, which could have changed the complexion of the game. A game that Wake Forest was able to hold on and win in shutout fashion. Cooper plays one in, but nobody home to receive for Duke. Duke trying to get there. Instead, Parks. A misplay. Now Cooper. Maybe a misstrike there from Michelle Cooper, who only needs just a slither of daylight to get a shot off.
Really like the way the front runners are running together. We saw Raider have a brace. She could have easily gone for the hat trick. This was several minutes ago. Instead, tried to find Cooper to get her involved. I think that says a lot about the chemistry on this team with young players. Raider, I don't know about you, Chris, but I would have been greedy there. I would have been thinking hat trick all day long, but she was thinking, you know what, I don't have a good angle here. I'm going to see if I can free up Cooper.
Long way to go in this one. She'll have more opportunities. There's Robbie Church, obviously not pleased with the goal that Duke gave up a moment ago. Really changed the complexion of this first half.
It really did. I mean, it was kind of out of nowhere and really unnecessary, because she could have held on to the ball, right? She could have knocked it outside. She could have booted it long, anything but force it in with it, because it wasn't just DeMarco there. There was a couple black jerseys there. DeMarco won it, and then DeMarco seized the moment, hammered it home. It's one thing to win it, and it's another thing to say, all right, I got this now. I'm breaking down. I'm one-on-one, and then a great finish.
Raider settling, waiting for help to arrive. Back now for Graham. Cooper trying to track it down. And the goal kick won by Wake Forest. Let's go back to that goal Wake Forest scored in the misplay by Jones.
I mean, you see the 2 black jerseys right there. The defenders were starting to spread out, and nobody was going to be there to help her. So once she makes that pass and Ruthie can't win it, it's not like her defenders can come back and help. And tremendous finish by DeMarco. Tremendous defensive play and an even better finish feel bad saying it, but that one is on Ruthie. The good thing about Ruthie Jones, though, one of the best goalkeepers in the country, she will bounce back. She will come up with a big play for her team.
Well, you saw it a moment ago. Parks of Wake Forest, a prime example, gave up those couple of goals and made the great save on Cooper to keep it at a one-goal margin.
Could be a difference maker if Wake can somehow find a way to equalize. You'll need to remember that incredible save.
Saw a couple of subs for both sides a moment ago, including Grace Watkins, the junior who has checked in for Duke.
I love Grace Watkins. I love the way she plays. She is like a little pest out there buzzing around, and when she is healthy, it's a great reinforcement for the Duke Blue Devils. Been a big fan of hers.
But showcases the depth of this Duke club when you can bring someone of the talent level of Grace Watkins off the bench if you're Robbie Church.
Yeah, the junior from Manhattan Beach, California. Doesn't really get to play a ton, but when she does, she makes the most of her minutes.
Now Wake Forest down a goal, looking for an angle. A service in is chipped away, and Wake will have the corner and another opportunity to equalize the match in the first half.
Yeah, that's well done. You either want to try to find a cross on the front stick or the far stick or earn a corner kick. She got the latter, and now Wake Forest can send their defenders forward with a chance to tie this one up.
DeMarco there again. She hits the crossbar, and it's headed away. And wisely out of danger by the Blue Devils. Wake Forest that close to tying it up.
Jones has it again, and I kind of feel like with Jones's height right there, she needs to use her presence, as that was too easy for Wake Forest, and really the crossbar, the best friend right there of Jones. Otherwise it's 2-2 as she was beaten right there.
And now look at the pressure provided by Wake Forest. Jones ushers that one away. And after Duke had really dominated the first few moments of this match, it's been a totally different Wake Forest team over the last 10 or 15 minutes.
100%. One way to do it is to earn corner kicks. Restarts is an important part of the game, and set pieces. 3 corner kicks already for Wake Forest, and they almost tied it on that third corner kick.
Now Sophie Jones for Graham. And Duke forced to retreat and attempt to build the attack again. Jones, a bit of a misplay again. And the possession won to Wake Forest. Wake nearly tied it on this corner a moment ago.
Yeah, sent in. Ruthie stays back, and she's beaten right there. She did not elevate as it hit the crossbar right there. Look, it went over her hand. She needs to jump up and parry that away. One of the things about the women's game, they say that the high balls are available, but I mean, Ruthie Jones is tall, one of the biggest goalkeepers in the country. She needs to get a hand on that and parry it away. The crossbar, indeed, her best friend right now.
Listed at 6 foot. See Cooper coming off now as Lynch entering for Duke. A breather for Cooper for the last 10 minutes and change of this opening half.
Devin Lynch, a big-time talent, part of the U.S. Youth International system as well. Started the season in the starting lineup, and they've made some changes. She started when they had that 3-back system, but Katie Groff played so well coming in to the midfield position that Robbie Church and Carla Overbeck and the coaching staff, of course, Carla Overbeck, I mentioned her because she runs the defense. That's a big turnover here, Chris, sorry.
Yeah, foul in the middle as well. This is a nice opportunity for Wake Forest. Again, it's Morris who's in on the fray.
Yeah, Duke had it for a moment. Wake starting to win these balls. That's one of the things we talked about. If they're going to get back into the game, they need to create turnovers, win some second balls. They did it right there, and they earn a foul.
Is this one that you can put toward Ruthie Jones here on this opportunity for Wake Forest?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Ruthie has shown that she's going to stay on her line as well. So what you want to do is put it around 8 or 10 yards away. Anything outside of the 6, she's probably not going to come out for. And Wake Forest might have a chance. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I would have done that. I would have put it about 8 yards out, tried to find somebody else. That was too deep. If that's what you meant by should she take a shot there, no, I don't think so.
That's not what I meant, no.
Okay.
So opportunity perhaps missed for Wake Forest. But go ahead, Dean, sorry.
Well, I think the subs that Tony has made a difference. So, you know, you asked for keys, and Tony has found some rhythm with some subs. He's found some fight as well, and they're winning those second balls. Sophie rips that one away, but Wake has made it a little bit more difficult by bringing in some players off the bench.
Lynch shaking free for a moment. Nice reverse of course. Jones plays one out to the middle. And with 8.5 minutes to go in this first half, a lot of excitement here at Koskinen Stadium tonight.
To be fair, Chris, the way Duke started this game, I would not have been shocked if it was 3 or 4-0 at halftime. They were playing with so much joy. They were keeping the ball. Everybody was making their runs, but that one little mistake took a little air out of this game here. And now Wake, a team coached by Tony DeLuise, they always believe they're in it, and they definitely are in it now.
You get the sense the momentum has shifted toward Wake Forest and their club, even though they're down a goal?
Yeah, because they're doing the things that we talked about. They took advantage of the mistake from Jones, but now they're winning the ball back. They're winning second balls. Remember we talked about them getting physical, and they're actually earning fouls against Duke. Turnover there for Wake, so Duke will have it. I still think it's a really, really big hill to climb for Wake Forest, particularly on the road against the talent of Duke, but like I mentioned, Tony DeLuise has been doing this a long, long time. He's got some big-time players, and they're showing a little bit of fight. I'm a little surprised that, again, they're dropping back on that point of confrontation once they pulled that goal back. I'd like to see them not let Duke just kick it around their back line the way they're doing it right now.
Finessed ahead. Now Lynch looking for an angle perhaps. Lynch into the 18. Service in and ushered aside nicely by Wake Forest. There's some physicality from the Demon Deacons as Jones tries to get one in. It pinballs back. Lynch again chips one ahead. And what a stop again by Parks. And the defense comes to her aid.
That first opportunity by Lynch was created again by Maggie Graham, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia, now playing as an attacking midfielder, known throughout her career as a winger, just like her sister, but is truly being a great playmaker in this game. Yes, we're going to talk about Rader. Yes, we're going to talk about Cooper. Yes, we're going to talk about Pluck. But for me, Maggie Graham in that attacking midfield position, the quote number 10 position, she's been really good.
Perhaps one of the unsung heroes of this Duke club. She scored the game-winning goal against Syracuse in the 89th minute a couple of weeks ago. Here's the save from a moment ago.
Yeah, sent across and punched out right there. I would have preferred if she just grabbed it, because you never know when you punch it out if Duke is lurking, but certainly well done by Parks. She has come up strong after giving up those first 2 goals.
Twice over the last couple minutes that Parks has come up with a big save for Wake Forest.
Indeed.
Including one against Michelle Cooper. A 1v1 save on Cooper as well.
Yeah, Chris, you nailed it. That was huge because Michelle Cooper has made so many goalkeepers pay. You've witnessed so many of them. But Parks made the goal smaller, and key play.
We've talked about what Wake Forest has done in terms of adjustments in the latter moments of the first half. If you're Robbie Church 5+ minutes away from halftime, what's the message going to be to your club once you get into the locker room?
Yeah, I think the message has to be, hey, do you remember the first 15 minutes? Do you remember the first 3 minutes? That's how we need to play this entire game. He's got the depth if he needs to make some changes, but That's what he's got to do. Let's play the way we played the first 3 minutes of the game. We were bossing this game. Let's get back to bossing this game.
Kat Rader with the 2 Duke goals. The first career brace for Kat Rader, the rookie. Wake Forest got an answer on DeMarco's 4th of the season, and that's where we stand now, 4.5 minutes away from intermission.
So here you go, Wake picking up that line a little higher.
Sophie Jones, who just has such a great vision of the entire field. Robbie Church called her the connector of this Duke team.
Her IQ for this game of soccer is off the charts. She is a self-proclaimed soccer junkie, and you can see it on the field. I mean, she sees the play before anybody else. In fact, she usually sees 2 passes ahead, and that's when you know you've got a next-level player.
Duke asking for the foul, and instead the possession for Wake Forest, and that will not make the Blue Devil patrons very happy. Nice physical play that time by Taryn Chance, the rookie from Stafford, Virginia. And you can see the frustration there for Delaney Graham.
Yeah, Delaney Graham, she's got some moxie. She's got some fight. She always had.
Nice move by Kalaika Mina. Oh, another nice move by Mina, and Jones the step through. Jones saw the pass ahead, but another good defensive play. Mina's had a couple of nice plays over the last few moments for Wake Forest, who were unable to win the possession.
Chris, it's worth mentioning, you just saw the moxie right there, the fight of Delaney Graham, but what talent. She sang the national anthem before the game. We're going to bring you that at halftime, and rock star performance singing the national anthem. I thought it was fantastic.
Well, best we've heard all year.
It was big time.
3rd team All-ACC a couple of years ago. Part of a big a cappella group during her undergraduate career at Duke. We'll talk more about that at the intermission. Duke trying to get to halftime with the lead. And if Wake Forest could find a way in the last 2+ minutes to strike for a goal, man, wouldn't that change the complexion?
Well, it would, because Duke has 3 shots. Those 3 shots, to the best of my recollection, came in the first 10 minutes, and they've not had a shot since. They had the mistake from Ruthie Jones in the back, and off of that, they had the breakaway, that's right, from Cooper, but other than that, that's been it.
Another one of those talented freshmen checking in, Hannah Johnson. 20 in black for Wake Forest. Another dangerous play.
Yeah, I like this from Wake. I would attack Jones right now.
.90 seconds to go in this first half. Do you get the sense from Jones that maybe she's just got a little bit of indecision on what she wants to do right now?
It was a bad pass. I mean, it's definitely going to rattle her because she knows the level she can play. I mean, you're talking about one of the best goalkeepers, not just in the ACC, but in the country, and she made a bad pass, put her team in jeopardy, and they scored against her. So even somebody like Jones, who's a great student, high academic level, phenomenal family, kind of a perfectionist family, right, with all of those great high achievers, it's going to rattle her a little bit. But if anybody can shake it off, it's her. She'll be fine.
So possession for Duke, 40 seconds to go in this first half. Still time for a build if they perhaps hurry. Ball ahead, Parks comes out to play it, and that will most likely take us to the break. Parks in no real hurry. Motions for everyone to head up the pitch. And I think all in all, Dean, if you told Wake Forest after the first 10 minutes of this match, you'll be down a goal heading to halftime, Tony DeLuz would take it.
Indeed he would, because after, let's see how Duke responds.
We talked at the beginning of the match about, the fives and how important the first five is. Similarly important for both these clubs in the first 5 to 7 minutes of this second half?
100%, absolutely. And I think that was probably the message truly from Robbie Church. As we mentioned, let's do what we did in the first 3 minutes, and we'll see if they can do exactly what they did in the first 3 minutes of the second half that they did in the first half.
What about Tony DeLuz, though? What was the message, do you think, from him to his club at halftime, knowing how bad Wake played in the first 5-10 minutes of the match, but conversely played just a complete 180 over the last 10-15 minutes of the half?
I think pride. I think he, knowing Tony as long as I've known him, I think he probably said, I'm proud of you guys. You're down 2-0. You could have easily hung your head, Chris, and slumbered in, but instead they continued to fight, made Ruthie Jones make that mistake, and after that they got a little bit more of the ball. So I think he said, I'm proud of you. Let's keep doing it. We got a chance here. We've done it before here. Let's do it again.
Are there any, as that one serviced ahead, and Jones, again, has to play that one, a dangerous ball by Jones, and a great opportunity for Wake Forest now in their attacking third. Any big changes you think Wake Forest makes from a tactical standpoint in this second half?
I think a little bit higher line of confrontation earlier. If you remember, they didn't start doing that until about 20 minutes in, and they're already down 2-0. I don't think they'll sit back. They still got to find that equalizer, and they may get it here.
Nice ball in. Again, the Blue Devils were ready defensively. And look at the run here by Pluck, forcing Parks, and that one knocked down by Cooper. So dangerous. And the throw in here for the Demon Deacons. There is Michelle Cooper, who has not scored tonight, had a one-on-one save made against her, but has done so many of the intangible things that we talked about in the first half that even though she scores a bunch of goals, it's the other little things that go unnoticed that Cooper does.
Complete soccer player. And she's one of those players. I already told you I would pay a ticket to see her. I meant it, and I would do it. But she's also one of those players that I like watching away from the ball just to see her make her run. Sophie Jones is also a player like that. But, I mean, she is a goal-scoring phenom. She hasn't even been in school for a year and a half and 21 goals already.
That one settled outside of the 18. We haven't even talked about the lofty numbers that Cooper is putting up in ACC play. But, boy, a bit of a mishit there, and perhaps a break for Duke. It looked like it was Morris who couldn't quite put that one on frame. Now Jones. Oh, was nearly tested again. A throw in for Ruthie Jones. Certainly. Sorry, Dean.
I was just going to say, simply put, how awesome is it if you're a soccer fan, even just a tiny soccer fan, to live in the Triangle, men's and women's soccer. I mean, of course, North Carolina and Duke, Tony DeLuz and Wake Forest, NC State is headed in the right direction. There's a pro men's team, a pro women's team. I mean, if you love soccer, this is the right place to live.
So much growth in the sport. It can really be pinpointed to what's happening here in the Triangle region.
Yeah, and the emergence of Duke, around 2010, working their way the last 12 years, and Robbie Church knocking off North Carolina every once in a while as well, I think has changed the dynamic. I mean, you're talking about a team that's made it to a couple college cups in the last 10 years and knocking on the door to win their first national championship. I think it's not if, but when for Duke to win a national championship, Chris.
Another strike batted down. Now Cooper tried to get a shot off and misfires on that one. And Duke came within an eyelash of reaching the College Cup again last year, if not for that loss to Santa Clara.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there. And like I said, I think it will happen for Robbie Church. And, boy, if anybody deserved one, we talk about what a wonderful person he is, and he's outstanding. And, Chris, you and I as broadcasters, he's just a dream, isn't he? I mean, he's plug and play.
I don't think you'll find a single person in the soccer community that has a negative thing to say about the Duke head coach.
Never found one. Nope.
Universally liked by everyone.
Well, I think it says a lot, too, about his mentality in that He'll play North Carolina twice sometimes. They'll play him in the ACC, and then to get a home game and get great crowds. What a crowd it was. Are you kidding me? That was unbelievable.
And that was a non-conference match this year.
Exactly. I mean, it was packed.
A Blue Devil down in the middle of the park, and that does not look good. It looks like it's Cooper who is down. And boy, everybody anxiously holding their breath as Cooper down and holding her right knee. Certainly look of concern on Robbie Church's face, and rightfully so. Cooper, who has been so dynamic in so many different areas. Cooper, the ACC Freshman of the Year, preseason All-ACC this season. Boy, the grimace, but you hope it's just, for Cooper, nothing serious. Cooper, who is trying to walk it off, and certainly good to see her walking toward the Duke Technical area under her own power. But let's take a look and see if we can deduce what might have happened to Cooper. 18 there in pink. Maybe just landed awkwardly there, got tangled up with a Wake Forest defender.
So you see her get the touch. Defender comes in. The leg did get a little flimsy for sure, Chris. And taking a shot in the shin. She was definitely in some pain.
Kristen Johnson was there defending for Wake Forest. Didn't see anything malicious that warranted maybe a foul or anything like that, just a hard defensive play. And you saw Watkins coming in for Cooper, who will require more attention and treatment on the Duke bench area. Boy, that would be a big loss for Duke, not just in this match, but moving forward over the last couple weeks of this ACC season and into the postseason.
So Carla Overback now in her 31st season as a Duke assistant coach. Was here even before Robbie Church arrived and has stuck around for 31 amazing seasons. Carla Overback has now had an award named after her for U.S. Soccer as part of her.
Pluck plays one in, and Rader got an opportunity there looking for the hat trick. Got a nick on it, but a nice play again by Parks, the redshirt junior for Wake Forest. I was going to ask if the mentality for Duke changes at all with Cooper, who's one of their leaders on the field, coming off, but as Jones goes down, and a great opportunity now for Duke. Does not seem like Duke has been phased at all. They have been very aggressive over the last couple of moments with a pair of opportunities.
Well, certainly there's not another player out there like Michelle Cooper, but one thing that Watkins does have that Cooper also has is that tenacity, the resiliency. She's ferocious on both sides of the ball, much like Cooper. So Watkins bringing that spark, but make no mistake, everybody right now is hoping that Michelle Cooper is okay. Times a million.
Kat Rader, who has the 2 goals for Duke tonight, will take this opportunity. Robbie Church has talked about how dangerous she is with these opportunities, and Rader goes top shelf and nearly nicked it in. What a strike from the rookie.
What a setup by you. You're totally right. This was no doubt that she was going to take it. This is way downtown, folks. I mean, this is beyond an NBA 3 right there, and she almost put it in like Steph Curry right there. That was an unbelievable shot. And it fooled you for a moment, right? It bounced off the net. Fooled me too, Chris. I was right there with you. A spectacular strike from Rader.
Wouldn't that have been a way to collect your first career hat trick too?
Indeed.
But now the Blue Devils continue to apply the pressure. You see the numbers on Rader. Just been so dynamic in her rookie season. Now looking for an angle here. Wake obviously will send a crowd to Rader. Trying to get it on her boot now. And a service through, but nobody home for Duke. A great run made by the Blue Devils. Another near miss for Robbie Church's club, still clinging to the 1-goal lead.
My eyes are fixated on the bench right now, trying to get a look at Cooper as you see the training staff, the doctors, everybody spending some time with Michelle Cooper. A different level talent who, the only thing I didn't, that really you saw in there is her leg was kind of flimsy, right? It was a little plasticky. She's up now, walking around a little bit, but with a limp.
And Robbie Church, obviously hoping Cooper is okay, but would make his decision a lot easier if the Blue Devils could perhaps strike for another goal here.
She's jogging down there. I've never seen anything better right there than Michelle Cooper up and running. That is huge. Great job by our crew to find her over there. And knock on wood, that's a great sign.
Yes, phenomenal sign. Not just for Duke, but for the ACC and college soccer in general.
Well, you think about those pinball machine-like numbers that Cooper put up last year and is putting up again this year. And right on cue, Robbie Church is saying, we need more. And Raider, with those 7 goals, that's a great rookie campaign with a lot of soccer left.
Hard play there. Raider trying to track it down for Duke. Physicality has turned up a notch in the second half.
That time, Katie Groff, who I think Katie Groff does not get enough credit for being a complete player. That was a rare mistake by Katie Groff, but her ability to come out of that 3-back system and solidify the midfield is, I think, going to be key for Duke making perhaps another run to the College Cup.
It's been really instrumental in what the Blue Devils have wanted to do. Played a full 90 against Syracuse earlier this year. A match in which Duke held Syracuse to 1 shot in the second half. Groff, who attended nearby Leesville Road High School, talk about a soccer power at the high school ranks in the Triangle area. Leesville Road, year in and year out, one of the perennial powers.
I like her game. Like you, I've been lucky enough to come over here and call a few games for
Sophie Jones battling, and might be a handball there against Jones. So Wake Forest now trying to set up shop. This is DeMarco. We've already seen how dangerous DeMarco has been tonight with the goal, and then hit the crossbar on the header that nearly tied it in the first half.
Really good step up a moment ago from Laurel Ansbro, the sophomore from Cary, North Carolina. Good size back there at center back, stepping up at the right time to win the ball back for Wake. They subsequently give it back to Duke, but she's got a bright future back there.
It's a couple times tonight we've called Ansbro's name. Played some impactful minutes and possessions in the first half. Redshirted last season, and that's what we talked about earlier with this young Wake Forest team. Maybe didn't have a ton of experience last year, but got those reps in practice and paying off this season. Look at the defensive play that time, and then the offensive play by Mina to come in and force the goal kick. But a lot of quality matches left on the calendar for both of these clubs. Wake Forest beginning tonight. 4 of their last 6 will be against top 20 clubs. Both coaches talking about the importance of just finding ways to get a result. Points are so critical, and in this league, Dean, so hard to come by.
It's like playing an NCAA tournament within your regular season, playing these ACC games for sure, Chris.
Physicality, as we mentioned, has ticked up a bit in the second half. A couple of opportunities earlier for Duke to try to add to this 1-goal lead. Wake has not, to this juncture, had many chances or even a half chance to speak of in the first almost 14 minutes of the second stanza. Have you noticed anything different from Duke defensively in the second half?
No, I've noticed more from Wake Forest defensively, to be fair, Chris. I feel like they've stepped up. You keep very astutely saying the physicality, and I feel like most of that is coming from Wake Forest, as Cooper was definitely fouled, but they're making everything difficult for all of these Duke players. That's the biggest difference I've seen so far here in the second half. So Cooper is going to check in.
Yeah, encouraging sign for sure. As boy, another almost giveaway by Jones, and now Duke trying to build an attack. Can Rader track it down? Ansbrow again had it chipped away. Now Pluck.
That's phenomenal work by Pluck. She was fouled there. They're going to play advantage.
Yeah, advantage called. Now Migley leaving it off for Jones. Pluck plays one in. And that one misses. Laguerre had a great opportunity. And you hear the claps as Michelle Cooper will come back in for Duke. But how about this play on Pluck?
Yeah, that'd be a yellow card, and so it'd be a yellow card, but they play on advantage. Really well done by the referee. Duke still had it, so I like the fact that the referee let them keep playing and then came back and gave the yellow card. It's well done.
Yeah, Zara Chavoshi with the yellow. It's the 11th yellow issued to Wake Forest this season. And you saw Cooper check back in. That's a good sign for everybody.
Amen.
Will be interesting to see for Cooper how aggressive is she. And I imagine, having seen Michelle Cooper play several times, only one speed for Michelle Cooper. That's wide open.
Yeah, it's just a great sign that she's okay, because she clearly was in some pain as she was assisted off the field by the trainer and Carla Overbeck, but right back out there.
Here's Jones. And a ton of credit. I know we've talked about it a lot tonight, but a ton of credit has to go to this Wake Forest club and their resiliency. After trailing 2-0 in the first 15 minutes of the match, to be able to get the break but take advantage of the break as well to score the goal, and now not relent any more ground for the rest of the match. DeMarco, who has the goal, had the near miss, goes down. That one off of Jones. And now Ansbrow. Room here for DeMarco, doesn't have a lot of help. Plays one ahead. Oh, and a nice defensive play. Migley again there for Duke.
Big fan of Migley, as I mentioned already. Love the fact that she can combine on this side with Pluck. Solid defender, has shown the ability to get forward. She was involved in that foul earlier, getting all the way forward and then getting all the way back to make the big defensive play for the Duke Blue Devils.
Robbie Church talked about how great her effort was a couple of weeks ago, a couple Sundays ago against NC State. Feathered in, nobody home for Wake Forest.
That's great work, though, by Wake, letting the ball do the work and then heading down to the end line and getting a cross off.
Now Cooper. No fearing Cooper, who goes down again. We play on.
Cooper was on that U20 team. So was Karina Laguerre. She's in there now. Karina Laguerre is going to be a top shelf player as well. It's taken her a little bit longer coming off the U20 World Cup down in Costa Rica, but watch out. Once Laguerre gets going, she's a big-time talent.
The number 4 player in her class. The native of Cooper City, Florida, played 59 minutes earlier this year against UCLA, first career start at TCU. Robbie Church really spoke highly of her in our conversation this week. But that's maybe another example, Dean, as we were talking about earlier, as Cooper shakes free. Oh, look at Cooper speeding ahead. Cooper tries to settle, and somehow Duke wins the possession. Phenomenal work from Cooper.
Beyond phenomenal. The things that she can do with the ball at her feet, way, way far away from the goal, are only magnified when she gets in and around the goal. Her ability to dribble. This is midfield right here, right? So that's one defender. She's got one there, one in front of her. Split them both. See you later. Eliminates players. And then unselfish, wins it back. She was thinking past the entire time, and that is a big-time goal scorer right there, Michelle Cooper. What a tremendous look at her talents.
Always great when maybe your best player, your best offensive option, their first instinct is to look to help others.
Incredible. Yeah, she was thinking pass both times. She was thinking pass. They knocked it back to her, and she was thinking pass again, which says a lot, as you've seen, scored or assisted in 20 of 28 career matches. And I'll tell you what, she is extremely fit, but I think right now she's as fit as she's ever been in a Duke jersey, which is scary. Maybe Robbie Church will have a different take on that, but she looks phenomenal out there. Great speed with the ball, great speed without the ball. Physical, strong, the complete package.
Talked about her scoring numbers. 14 of her career goals have come here at home. Always nice when you can light up the home crowd a little bit.
You know it.
20 minutes gone in this second half. And Duke still holding the 1-goal advantage. Cooper again fouled. I want to go back to the Gears for a second if we can. We were talking about her earlier and how her play has really developed over the last couple of weeks. We talked earlier about this juncture in the season when you're 10, 12 matches in. Do your rookies no longer feel like rookies or freshmen? And maybe Laguerre is a prime example of that. That has adjusted to the speed and the quality of the game. And perhaps now, as a foul against Duke, Laguerre's, with those adjustments being made, has become a big part of what Duke wants to do.
You nailed it. I don't have anything to add to that other than going back to Tony DeLuce's comment about it. Doesn't matter if she's a freshman anyway. I mean, she's a big-time soccer player. Of course, Tony was talking about his team, but I think Laguerre fits right into that.
Now another opportunity for Wake Forest off the foul. Who do you look for to make the run here for Wake Forest?
Well, you think the big, tall center back that we've been talking a lot about, and offside flag was up anyway. It would be impossible to not think about Ansbro at, it says 5'11", but she looks every bit at 6 feet to me.
Another look at the offside.
Yeah, Wake left just a second early, and that goes back to, I started talking about Carla Overbeck. You talk about, she's a Hall of Famer, legend of the game. She was the co-captain of that 1999 World Cup team. She's an Olympic gold medalist. She was on that first 91 World Championship team. She won 4 national championships at North Carolina, and I don't think she lost a game. I think she won every single game she played, maybe a tie or here or there, but I don't think she lost a game as a player in college.
That seems good. Jones off her line to spear that one. You win more than you lose. It always seems like a pretty good outcome.
Well, and I think as the story goes, when she first came in, they track everything over there. I don't think she lost too many of the practice games they played as well. She's a winner.
Winners win, Dean.
Winners win. Deep thoughts from Jack Handy.
Yeah, that's some analysis right there. Still a 1-goal lead for the Blue Devils. Cooper tried to play it ahead. Stoll, who's been one of the big threats for Wake Forest, 11 there in black, has not had many opportunities tonight. Duke doing a nice job marking a couple of the key Demon Deacons. Offside flag goes up again for Duke, but we talked about Morris at the outset of the broadcast tonight, who's been, in Tony DeLuse's summation, the best player for Wake Forest this year. Stoll, who has 4 goals, 4 assists. She has not been able to get any traction tonight either.
Yeah, no, we haven't said either one of those names too often. However, when you see them, similar to some of the other players we've been talking about, Duke, when you see them make their runs and make their passes, they're good players.
Maggie Graham and Kaya Hanks both in for their respective clubs. There's Graham. Sarah Piper also checking in for Duke.
Yeah, and Robbie Church, that was the first player he talked about when we asked him about his sub, Sarah Piper, the senior from Woodlands, Texas. I think to your point earlier when you were talking about freshmen getting time late, I think it's any of the players on the bench getting time late because you're playing a lot of games very quickly. And to me, whether you're freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, if you can add depth and you can go 17, 18 deep, look, the bench is going to get shorter as you enter the ACC tournament. But right now, you want to try to keep those legs fresh. And if Piper can come in and get a solid shift, then it'll be a job well done.
Goal kick coming here for Wake Forest.
Meanwhile, Piper's not in the game.
Yes. But still has played quality minutes for Duke.
And to be fair, she was a player that
she was.
Robbie had mentioned, so.
Allie Schmidt back in for Wake Forest, the freshman. Earned the starting nod tonight. And look at Duke thinking about pressuring a little more here are the Blue Devils. And it results in the throw-in one for the home-standing Duke squad. Less than 20 minutes to go.
Our big-time producer, Caleb Waters, reminded us that was Elle Piper, the freshman that he was talking about, this great freshman class. And as I mentioned, word on the street is they got a big-time class coming in. The rich get richer here in Durham.
Cooper had it knocked down. It was Hansbrough again who made a nice defensive play to get in front of it. Cooper. Oh, what a move. Hansbrough again.
Chris, did you see how that was just kind of a half kick there
Yes.
from Cooper with pace?
Just effortless. Now Wake Forest trying to turn the tide a bit. Through the middle. And Jones might have just got a piece of that one on a diving effort. Another tremendous opportunity for Wake Forest.
If any player needed a play like that, it's number 26, one of the leaders of this team, one of the best players in the country. You saw the shot right there coming from distance from Morris, and Jones, no doubt, a saving stop right there from Jones.
Now off the corner. Cleared out of harm's way for the moment. We talked earlier about how we hadn't talked about Morris or Stoll much. This is Stoll. Draws a crowd. But Morris nearly tied the match up.
Yeah, that was a great setup because Morris and Stoll, we started to talk about the fact the way they play with the ball at their feet and make off-ball runs as well. Stoll, she lost the ball a moment ago, but man, she is really tidy.
Now another strike. And Jones watching that one all the way. No real danger. But Wake Forest now with some pressure. That was Kaya Hanks who had a nice opportunity for the Demon Deacons. And still plenty of time for this Wake Forest club to maybe create a turnover or build an attack.
Plenty of time, but that save from Ruthie Jones. You talk about a player that needed it, as Ruthie Jones has had some big-time moments in her career for Duke. This year, Robbie Church immediately saying there's been a few moments here and there where really they weren't Ruthie Jones-esque, but Ruthie Jones certainly looking like Ruthie Jones here in this one. This one's going in. Well, maybe not. Either way, safety first right there. And she has always been so good diving to her left or her right. Good to see that from Ruthie Jones, because no matter how good you are, Chris, I think she's still thinking about the fact that the one goal on the scoreboard for Wake Forest was she was responsible for, I think it's fair to say. I think she would say that.
No foul called there. Cooper with a bit of daylight. Cooper had it knocked down again.
What a move by Cooper to let the ball do the work right there. A little juke, but without touching the ball, and then strolled right into the ball. Good job by Wake to close it down. And when you close it down, you got to close it down quickly on Cooper, because, I mean, she can sling it.
Doesn't take much.
She looks fine, by the way. I mean, she is flying around out there.
Ooh, tough collision. It's been a physical match, much more so in the second half than it was to start the contest, but no secrets between these two clubs. Certainly is a rivalry aspect to the Duke-Wake Forest series. Both coaches talked about it.
No secrets, but mad respect. Mad respect from both coaching staffs, and I think both teams all the way from player number 1 to player number 30.
Two institutions that are fairly similar in terms of their academic standards.
Big time.
And we have mentioned it a lot, but the future extremely bright for Wake Forest, not to take anything away from what they have accomplished this year. Still very much in the conversation for the ACC tournament. This play onside here. Service in by Watkins, and nobody home. Can Cooper get there? And look at Parks coming out to usher that one aside, knowing how dangerous Cooper can be in that final third.
Great speed by number 1, Caitlin Parks, the redshirt junior from Maryland, Northern High School. Safety first, that's really well done. She's had a great game. I know she gave up too early, but she has been solid for Tony DeLuz and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Dean, I keep coming back to that save, that 1v1 save she made against Cooper that could have made it a 3-1 Duke advantage.
She made herself massive, made that goal small, and was ready for it, just like she was ready right there to make the right decision, sprint to the ball first and knock it out of bounds.
Seeing Wake Forest pressure a little more now. Migley fouled from behind. DeMarco committing the foul, and no card issued here. But DeMarco getting a warning from the referee.
DeMarco with the goal. A little push from behind. A little bit of a tactical foul, as there are a lot of pink jerseys headed inside the 18. Far enough away where she felt like this would be the safest thing, but now you got Sophie Jones over the ball.
Jones drives one in, headed wide, and an easy play for Parks to scoop it up. And cleared nicely by Duke.
I think you have to tip your hat to Tony DeLuz and the mental fortitude of this young team, down 2-0 early on the road. You know the history of Duke and how good they've been over the last several years, making those deep runs to the College Cup and to the Elite Eight. They didn't hang their head. They capitalized on a mistake, and now if you're Robbie Church on the other side, you're kind of thinking, wait a second here. We need to get that third goal. We need to put this one away.
Wake Forest, who's been close to equalizing the match a couple of times, Oh boy, dangerous ball through there.
Double draw.
Nobody home, but instead
Maggie, look high.
Wake can try to turn it up again. Another drive, and Jones watches that one as Kalika-Mina had a nice look at it. And Nina, the sophomore, has played really well for Wake Forest tonight. Taryn Chance back in for the Demon Deacons.
Thought Taryn Chance had a nice run in the first half, brought some good energy, and Tony DeLuz now tactically will switch things around a little bit as Chance will head over to that left back spot, and now moving to the right back will be Schmidt.
Cooper. And now Duke trying to build. Duke looking for that elusive 2-goal advantage. Chip toward Parks and an easy play.
A little bit more on Tony DeLuz. He and his wife have 3 big-time sons, including Austin DeLuz, who is still the all-time assist leader at Wake Forest and part of that 2007 national championship team that knocked off the Ohio State Buckeyes down the road at WakeMed Soccer Park. In fact, even back then it might have been called SAS Soccer Park, if I remember correctly. It's been that long ago. And Austin DeLuz, now the proud parent of 2 kids of his own, including Max, and apparently they were 3-0 when Max shows up. So a little bit of superstition. I'm pretty sure Max is in the house, so we'll see if Max can pull something out of his hat here.
Cooper helping win the throw in here for Duke. Deep in their attacking end, it's Migley who will toss it in. Banging around, and the corner won by Duke. It's just the second corner kick that's been won by Duke tonight.
Watkins.
Yeah. It was really impactful a few moments ago for Duke.
I always amp her up when I'm talking to Robbie Church, and even when I see him in the offseason, like, when are you going to give Watkins more time? Give Watkins more time. She earns this corner kick. She's going to take this corner kick.
Plays it in. Pinballs around. And no real opportunity there for Duke to do anything with it.
That's great work.
Yeah, now the Blue Devils with Cooper out in front. Opportunity for Duke. Oh, another save by Parks. It was Maggie Graham making the great run for Duke. She wins the corner, but Parks up for the challenge again.
Maggie Graham has had a big-time game. This time around, though, I really think she should have dropped this one. Maggie Graham drawing over the defender. Cooper's open. Cooper was on the inside shoulder right there, so that means all you got to do is get it to the right foot of Cooper. Maggie Graham kind of knows that. Big-time game, though, from number 19. I feel like she's been outstanding tonight for Robbie Church.
Another ball in is headed away. Quality look for the Blue Devils. Now Wake Forest in transition. Demon Deacons would love to try something. No foul call there. The Wake fans asking for a call. None comes. This is Graham. Leaving it off into the corner. Cooper finds Jones. Good play by Wake.
Yeah, great play by Wake. That offensive sequence was started by Groff again. A ball winner in the middle of the park. Unsung hero, number 21 for the Duke Blue Devils.
Foul there, gets it back to Duke. 7.5 minutes remaining. 1-goal lead for Duke. You know, last year these clubs met here at Koskinen Stadium, Dean, in the ACC Championship. We look back at this win for Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons were up to the challenge a season ago.
Yeah, Jenna Menta scored in the 29th minute. Migley would get one back in the 84th minute, but then an own goal right after that goes in the back of the net, and Tony DeLuse's Wake Forest team with an impressive win in the ACC tournament. Tony DeLuse with mad hugs for his coaching staff and 2 thumbs up to his family.
Nice play out of the box. Kept in by Duke, now Jones. And the Blue Devils, boy, Duke hunting that 2-goal advantage. You see Wood in for DeMarco on the Wake Forest side of things for this stretch run of the match. Laguerre is in for Duke, as Rader, who has the 2 goals for Duke this evening, is out.
Great ball from Migley.
Settled. Migley. Ooh, maybe a little bit too much pace on that one. Comes out for Groff. And now Jones forced to track it down. Duke, I'm sure, would be happy to hold the ball for the last 6 minutes. A Duke team that has not given up a lot of opportunities or goals in ACC play. Cooper plays one ahead. Service in. And another good play by Wake just to usher it out of bounds.
Great pass from Cooper, though, to Maggie Graham. I like that Migley continues to join in. You know, when you play at this level, a lot of times you come in as an attacking type player.
Cooper here, plays one in, far post. Oh, a nice run was made. Duke still has the possession. Comes to Migley, now Cooper. Cooper settles, feeds it through, and nobody there as Parks again makes the stop. Back to your point, though.
Well, you know, you can only play so many players at center forward or in the midfield, so you start to look at those kind of players at outside back position, and just on the way Migley plays, you got to believe she probably was a next level attacking player and get the job done at outside back. And more you're seeing your best players at a left back or a right back playing big roles. And Migley, boy, Robbie Church right away, he said, look, we needed to go to 4 in the back because we needed to get Migley out there, and she's been good.
Playing phenomenal tonight. Cooper has some space. Nice dribble by Cooper, just tried to force one in. And obviously for Wake Forest, down a goal, less than 4 minutes left. First challenge for the Demon Deacons is to win possession, and they've not been able to do that lately. Cooper, another one, and another save by Parks, who's come up big for Wake Forest tonight.
What a shot from Cooper, and that came moments after she perhaps took a shot that she shouldn't. But to Cooper's credit, even when she takes a shot that she shouldn't or a pass that she shouldn't, she still has a way of making it look special.
But for Wake Forest, the key in the final 3 minutes, how do they break down this Duke defense to have an opportunity to tie the match?
Well, let's take a look at this shot from Cooper first, and we'll get to what Wake Forest needs to do. I mean, this is way downtown here, and Cooper has hit goals like that, challenged the goalkeeper right there. She had taken a shot like that moments ago. Wake has possession now, and there's enough time where they can build it from the back, but if they happen to lose it here, Chris, to answer your question, they're going to need to start pinging it long, and then they're just going to have to think about effort. They have to win those second balls and see if they can spin off of it and create something. Here they spin off of it, they get it right back to Jones, and Jones can work the clock. That is not what they want. If they're going to spin off of it, they want to keep possession, get one more pass, get a squared ball away from the talented goalkeeper Jones to try to get this equalizer with just 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the game.
Jones in no real hurry before punting it away. Another 50-50 ball won by Duke. Look at Parks come out, trying to save as many seconds as possible for Wake Forest. Jones fouled in the midfield. And with 2 minutes to go, Jones a little slow to get up, appears to be okay. And you can just see there, Jones, the organizer of this Duke team.
Wake has, listen, obvious here. Wake has to have urgency right here. They have to figure out a way on this pass to win the ball. They need to win it right now and head the other way.
Final 100 seconds from Koskinen Stadium. Jones spinning away from the defender.
It's DeMarco. She's got to be careful.
Yeah.
Already has a yellow card.
Still time for Wake Forest, but the Demon Deacons need some hustle.
This is great, though. They wanted it in the back, and now they push it forward. They wanted the back, they played it back, switched the point of attack, and here they come.
The top of the 18, it's slithered away, but a foul against Duke. And with a minute remaining, Wake Forest, a phenomenal opportunity for the equalizer.
A little bit of drama here. This started all the way in the back. They switched the point of attack, got it over the left, allowed them to slide it into the right. Coming in hard there. Yeah, that's a foul. And now Wake Forest, you can't ask for a better spot short of the penalty spot. Outside the 18, right down Main Street, right in the middle. A big-time opportunity for Wake to tie it with 30 seconds remaining. They finally stopped the clock.
38 seconds, 38 seconds. Yeah, we are. 38.
It's Hanks and Morris who are in the neighborhood.
I think this is an absolute shot right here. I don't think, unless they have drawn up a play for a situation like this where they have a pass go out to the left or right, I think this is going to be a shot right here, and it needs to be a shot with a purpose here.
Morris.
They need to get a rebound.
Oh, and a save made by Jones. 30 seconds remaining. Wake has to hurry.
What a save, what a strike from Wake. Absolutely hammered.
A ball in and cleared away with 15 seconds to go. That should just about do it, as Duke will hold serve at home. One final opportunity for Wake Forest. And in the end, it's Duke defense that closes this one out. Another Tobacco Road battle goes the way of Robbie Church and his Blue Devils.
I think that expression from Robbie Church says it all. Ruthie Jones really standing on her head in the second half after making that mistake against that player right there, DeMarco. Ruthie